Haha wo Suteru is a story of the overarching role parents play in our lives and the choices we make when forced to deal with the deaths of one's parents, or rather, the impending death of them. Do we slack off on our current responsibilities and devote ourselves to being at their side? Do we work away the pain because we have no other choice? The bills must be paid and food must be put on the table? Do we ignore the inevitable, hoping it will go away? Yuki and Saki Hayakawa must deal with this reality in their own way, and Yuki realizes something important that he understands after the worst has come to pass. I'm going over the entire 33-page one-shot of Haha wo Suteru, or according to Google Translate, Let Go of One's Mother. So if you wish to read this on your own, click off the video and read it for yourself. Our story starts with our protagonist Yuki giving his mother some pajamas. He remarks in the past tense that the pajamas were his last gift to his mother, who was hospitalized for terminal cancer. He tells her that he found it difficult to find 100% cotton pajamas in the design she would like. She remarks that he's always been thoughtful of her, unlike his sister, who does her own thing and goes with the flow. He goes a little into the background of how his mother took care of him and his sister after the divorce. After that background info, his mother asks him about his university classes, noting that he's been taking a lot of time away from studying the Chinese language to attend her appointments. He lies to her and reveals to us that he's been prioritizing her appointments over attending his classes, and that he only decided to take Chinese because his mother told him to. All of a sudden, his sister, Saki, barges in with a pizza for their mother. She gets scolded by the hospital staff and then by her mother, while Yuki wonders why their mother looks so happy, scolding Saki's carefree actions and attitude. We cut to Yuki and Saki talking about the healthcare options, such as narcotics and healthcare, for their mother. Saki remarks that whatever Yuki chooses is fine, and he yells at her for her nonchalant attitude towards their dying mother. She then brings up whether or not his attitude is really about their mother, and that neither of them can truly understand her pain and suffering. He shoots back, telling her that she can at least try to imagine it. She leaves to go to work, and at a later time, Yuki files for a leave of absence from school due to his mother's illness. The school lady tells him he has until February 4th to resume classes, or he'll have to withdraw from university. He points out that the more time he spent with his mother, the worse her condition got. He gets confronted by his sister about how much time he's spending at their mother's side and what's happened to his time at uni. She then hits him with the reality that after their mother dies, he'll still have to keep on living. He shoots back that their mother is dying and questions how his sister isn't heartbroken. She tells him the truth, that she is sad, but that despite being sad, she'll still get hungry, that living costs money and work is a necessity, and to work to survive, she has to keep it all together. She tells him that if you can't keep yourself together, you can't support anyone else. They go out to eat, and Yuki tells us that while their mother is on her deathbed, they ate grilled meat. Later in the night, he gets woken up by a phone call telling him to come to the hospital. His mother died during the night, her face covered by a sheet of paper. After the funeral, Saki gives him their mother's clothes. A week later, Yuki is severely depressed in bed. He looks at the calendar and remembers that he needs to apply to go back to university. He tries to justify his sadness while at the same time remarking that he doesn't want to stay like this. He rationalizes that by moving on, he would feel as if his mother's death did not matter. He comes to question if he's using his mother's death as an excuse to skip school. He remembers all the times his mother displayed concern over his lack of school attendance and how he brushed everything else off. He realizes that he's become too much of a mama's boy and that his mother never asked him to buy the pajamas earlier, and that he chose to skip school to buy them. He was too scared to take responsibility for his own life, and he couldn't keep using his mother's illness and now death as an excuse. He must make his own choices. He has to let go of his mother, throwing the pajamas he bought for her into the garbage, forever closing that chapter of his life away, as well as his mother in the process, with nothing more than a thud. The next time we see Yuki is him being sick as a child, remarking that it's embarrassing for him to cry over a cold. His mother shows up and tells him that she's here for him. We then see the present-day Yuki crying as he remembers that scene of her telling him that she'll always be there. He wonders if he'll regret letting go of his mother in the future, but understands that without letting go, he can't prepare and face his own life, and that he'll stand on his own 2 feet. He calls up the university to submit his application to return to school. Later on, Yuki and his sister are tidying up their mom's possessions, and they find a love letter between their parents when they were young. He realizes that their parents were also young once, and that they had their own lives, their own struggles and joys. They were their own human beings, not just parents. He didn't realize this until it was too late. His sister remarks that he's grown up now. Sometime later, he and his sister are talking about his schooling. He's resumed attending school and is later attending a company info session. The story ends with Saki telling him to do his best as he waves her goodbye, a happy smile on his face as he starts his new life without his mother. What surprised me the most is that this is a competent and well-written and well-drawn one-shot manga by author Demo. I couldn't find any information on this artist, but he came out of the gate swinging with a fantastic and realistic, if not a literal, overly simplistic take on the topic of parental death and the fallout it deals out on the children. The manga is concise from start to finish, giving just enough details and fleshing things out just enough to make you care despite its limited runtime of 33 pages. It touches upon very important aspects, such as, despite being there for our parents at the end of their lives, sometimes we have to take care of ourselves before we can care for others. We may use the illness and death of our parents as an excuse to do things unlike ourselves, but in the end, it's nothing but an escape, or rather an excuse, as we all die eventually. Although, that is to say, that being there for your parents in life and death is important, using them as a fallback or as an excuse to shirk responsibilities and duties only serves to delay the inevitable. We all have our own lives to live, regardless of this doomsday clock ticking down above our heads. We should live our own lives, even if that may be at the expense of others. Whether or not we regret it later in life is a road that is to be crossed when we get there. We must all stand on our own 2 feet, even when it feels impossible. This manga is a 10 out of 10 for me, and I look forward to other works made by this unknown artist. Good, realistic seinen mangas are few and far between in the manga industry, and this one stands heads and shoulders above the rest and does in 33 pages what a majority of mangas cannot do in 300 plus chapters and decades long run times. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you wish to support my artwork and my videos, all my social media and payment tipping links are in my profile. More videos and more artwork will come regardless. Goodbye for now.